Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling this massive stack of guides on event etiquette.
Oh, yeah, a big stack today.
Yeah, it's a lot. And we're using it to decode the totally murky, honestly, kind of panic-inducing world of wedding vendor tipping and gratitude protocols.
Panic-inducing is the perfect way to describe it.
It really is. I mean, our mission today is basically to take all that late-night financial anxiety and turn it into a streamlined, thoughtful system of appreciation. Because, usually tipping is binary, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like you buy a coffee, you tap the little iPad screen for 20%, you grab your drink and you walk away.
Transaction complete.
Exactly. But when you're planning a massive event, that neat little screen just disappears and you're left guessing. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
We all know weddings are incredibly expensive. But the social anxiety of who and how to tip at the end of the night, it's this hidden stressor for most couples.
It's a huge hidden stressor. And I think, well, the core belief I always come back to is that knowledge applied reduces stress because we crave financial boundaries,
Yeah.
right? We like knowing exactly where we stand. But a wedding is just a completely different beast. I always tell people to picture a split screen view.
Okay, a split screen.
Yeah. So on the right side of the screen, you have the beautiful stuff, the
The
magic.
Pinterest board, basically.
Exactly, the Pinterest board.
Yeah.
The flawless lighting, the
Yeah.
gorgeous floral arches, the guests having the absolute time of their lives on the dance floor.
Right.
But then on the left side of that screen, you have the backstage control room. And it is, honestly, it's absolute managed chaos.
I can only imagine.
You've got caterers dodging each other in these narrow little hallways.
Yeah.
You've got florists making these wild split-second adjustments because the wind suddenly picked up.
Oh, man.
And coordinators constantly, recalibrating the timeline over their headsets. It's a massive high-stakes production.
And I guess that's where the gratitude actually comes in, right? Because it's not just about throwing cash around because you feel socially obligated to do it.
No, not at all.
It is about recognizing the sheer physical and mental stamina it takes to pull off that level of production.
Yes.
Like you're acknowledging their flexibility when the weather turns, or just the fact that they are working these incredibly long, high-stress weekends while everyone else is partying.
That's exactly it. And when you actually understand what goes into that production, well, and you have a solid plan for how to reward it,
Yeah.
you completely eliminate that end-of-the-night panic.
Right. But before we even get to handing out the envelopes, there is this massive roadblock.
The contracts.
Yes, the contracts. Figuring out if you've actually already tipped these people. I mean, I've looked at some of these catering contracts, and they are so dense.
Oh, they're like small novels.
Yeah. You get contract fatigue, you scroll to the bottom, and you just blindly sign.
Which is exactly the trap. You just cannot gloss over the fine print.
Yeah.
You really have to look at the specific line items.
Okay.
Because you'll see charges for all sorts of things. Administrative fees, delivery, staff fees, and service charges.
Okay, wait. Stop right there, because this is where I get completely tripped up. And I know I'm not the only one.
Sure.
Let's say I'm looking at a $50,000 catering bill.
Okay.
And there is a mandatory 20% service charge slapped on there. I am absolutely assuming the bartender and the servers, the people carrying the prime rib, are pocketing that money directly. Isn't a service charge the exact same thing as a tip?
That is the single most common assumption in the entire event industry.
Right.
And it is very often entirely wrong.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously.
If it's not going to the waiters, where is that 20% actually going?
Well, this raises an important question that you always have to ask, because a service charge is not legally or functionally the same thing as a gratuity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In a lot of cases, an administrative fee or a service charge goes directly to the catering company's bottom line.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Yeah.
It covers their operational overhead, so things like vehicle maintenance, insurance, or it just helps pay the base hourly wages for their staff.
So it's not a bonus?
Right. It does not automatically get distributed to the servers or the dishwashers at the end of the night as a bonus for their hustle.
Oh my gosh. So you could pay this massive premium, assume your waiters are being, super well compensated for this crazy 10-hour shift, and end up accidentally stiffing the very people who took care of your 80 family members all night.
Exactly.
That is terrifying.
It is terrifying. And the only way out of that trap is to just have a slightly uncomfortable conversation early on. You can't assume anything.
Yeah.
You have to explicitly ask the vendor or the venue director, just say, hey, does this 20% service charge function as gratuity for your on-site staff? Or should we plan to tip on top of this?
You really have to ask that months before the wedding day.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you definitely do not want to be having some debate about labor laws and contract semantics with a venue manager while you're, wearing a tuxedo and trying to enjoy your own reception.
No, that sounds like a nightmare. Clarify the contract first. And once you know exactly where your money is going and what is actually covered, then you can look at the overall cast of characters and figure out who is genuinely getting a tip.
And that cast is huge.
It really is.
I mean, it takes a small city to pull this off. You've got planners, the catering staff, bartenders, hair and makeup artists, the photographers, videographers, DJs, florists, venue coordinators. It's a massive roster.
It's massive.
It really goes back to that theatrical production analogy we were talking about earlier. Like, it's obvious that you tip the lead actors.
The ones you see all the time.
Right. You've been on the phone with your wedding planner for 12 months.
Yeah.
You've had 3 separate Zoom meetings with your DJ. They are front and center in your mind.
Yeah, they are the face of the operation. You have a real relationship with them.
But what about the stagehands? Like the people who are practically invisible to the couple?
Oh, this is such a good point. The delivery and setup teams are honestly the most consistently forgotten demographic in event gratitude.
I can totally see that.
Yeah, think about the physical labor involved before a single guest even arrives.
Right.
You have a crew arriving at a loading dock at, say, 6 in the morning
Ugh.
to haul these heavy iron lighting rigs into a ballroom. Or you have a delivery team navigating this bumpy dirt road to unload and perfectly align 150 heavy wooden chairs in the hot afternoon sun.
And the couple is probably still at the hotel getting their hair done. They literally never see these people.
Never. They are the invisible architecture of the day. Without them, there is no event at all.
Right.
Now, again, you have to check the contract to see if a setup fee is already baked in.
Back to the contract trap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if a crew executes this flawless, safe, beautiful setup in the background, making sure those stagehands get a gratuity is a mark of true, intentional thoughtfulness.
It makes complete sense. If you want the magic on the right side of the screen, you have to appreciate the people building the stage on the left.
Yes, exactly.
But here's the practical reality. Knowing that the lighting guy deserves a tip is great in theory. But remembering to find the lighting guy when you are 4 hours into an open bar, the music is blasting, and you haven't eaten a full meal all day.
It's a complete disaster.
It really is. You are not going to be doing mental math at 11 p.m.
You absolutely will not. Relying on your memory or your on-the-fly math skills is a terrible strategy. You need a rock-solid system built weeks in advance.
So to avoid that exact midnight panic,
Okay.
the source material suggests this thing I actually love. It's the idea of mapping out a gratitude budget.
Yes.
Just a simple spreadsheet you build right alongside your floral budget or whatever. It has 5 columns. First, you list the vendor.
Right.
Then the specific service they are providing. Then a check mark to confirm you've reviewed their contract for those sneaky service fees.
Crucial step.
Right. Then the tip or gift planned. And finally, the person responsible for handing it over.
I love that. It takes all that abstract worry just floating around in your head and forces it into an actionable, concrete checklist.
Yeah.
And we're seeing event tech evolve to handle this beautifully, too. Like, there are platforms, like Weddizer, for example.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're designed specifically for this kind of logistical heavy lifting. You can track all your vendor contact info, monitor payment statuses, and actually integrate your tip plans into the same digital dashboard where you're organizing your seating chart.
That's amazing.
It really makes gratitude a standard part of the planning journey, rather than a frantic afterthought.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Let's talk about that last column on the spreadsheet, the person responsible.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is a cardinal rule here that I think every couple needs to hear. Under no circumstances should the couple be walking around with wads of cash on the day of the event.
Never. It completely shatters the experience. If you are getting married,